Jose Mourinho shocked the world when he won the Champions League with Porto. People talked, people ranted on social media, some in favour. Whilst a lot has been said about Jose winning Porto the Champions League, very little is known about how truly magnificent his time there was. This video will show you all you missed on how Mourinho transformed Porto into an elite European club. But before we continue, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. In January 2002, Jose Mourinho embarked on what would become a legendary journey with FC Porto. The club, then under the lacklustre reign of Octavio Machado, had just experienced its first third-place finish in 20 years. A bitter pill for a team with a proud history. The atmosphere was one of disappointment. The team a disjointed collection of players who seemed to be far from achieving greatness. Enter Mourinho, a figure who would turn soon this narrative on its head. His appointment wasn't met with universal acclaim. After all, he was a relatively unknown manager taking over a club in desperate need of revival. But Mourinho had a vision. He saw not a group of misfits, but a squad brimming with untapped potential. From his very first day, Mourinho began to instill a new ethos. Training intensified, tactics were overhauled, and a sense of purpose was ignited within the team. Each player, from seasoned veterans to unproven youngsters, was given a clear role and expectation. Under Mourinho's guidance, they began to transform, blending their individual talents into a formidable cohesive unit. This was a period of intense transformation as Mourinho's philosophy began to take root in the fabric of the club. From the ashes of their former selves, Mourinho was building something new at Porto, a team that would soon shake the foundations of European football. Jose Mourinho flipped the script on conventional football wisdom, particularly in the transfer market. Instead of chasing after the big-name signings, Mourinho adopted a more strategic and nuanced approach. He turned his gaze towards the untapped potential within Portugal's smaller clubs, identifying players who could fit into the intricate puzzle he was assembling at Porto. This strategy was a masterstroke. Mourinho's keen eye for talent and potential reshaped the transfer policy at Porto. He didn't just bring in players, he brought in the right players who would embody his vision on the field. Central to this approach was the formation of a formidable defence. This was spearheaded by the likes of Ricardo Carvalho and Jorge Costa. These players, though not household names at the time, would go on to become synonymous with the resilience and strength in Porto's back line. The midfield also saw transformation under Mourinho's guidance. The acquisition of Deco and Maniche, both from less prominent backgrounds, proved to be pivotal. Deco, with his flair and creative genius, and Maniche, with his tireless work rate and energy, became the heartbeat of Porto's midfield. Together, they played crucial roles in executing Mourinho's tactical plans. Mourinho's transfer policy at Porto wasn't just about building a team, it was about crafting a symphony with each player representing a unique note. His ability to spot and nurture talent from smaller clubs saved the club financially and laid the groundwork for one of the most remarkable stories in European football. Jose Mourinho's monumental success at Porto lay in his tactical brilliance and ability to nurture unparalleled team cohesion. Mourinho wasn't just a manager, he was a tactical innovator, a chess master on the football field. His strategy at Porto was built around a high-pressing style that suffocated opponents. This was paired with an efficient, razor-sharp counter-attacking approach. It was football that was as intelligent as it was ruthless. Mourinho's preferred formation, a dynamic 4-3-1-2, laid the groundwork for both defensive solidity and offensive fluidity. This formation allowed Porto to maintain a compact shape in defence, making them difficult to break down. But it was in the transition to attack where Mourinho's tactics truly shone. The team would seamlessly shift to a 4-1-3-2, a formation that enabled quick counter-attacks, often catching their opponents off guard and vulnerable. This tactical approach was not just theoretical brilliance, it was proven on the biggest stages in European football. One of the most notable examples was Porto's UEFA Cup semi-final triumph over Lazio, a match that showcased Mourinho's tactical acumen. His team's ability to absorb pressure and then strike with lethal precision was a sight to behold. This same strategy propelled them through their Champions League campaign, where their tactical discipline and cohesiveness was on full display. Under Mourinho, Porto was more than a collection of individual talents. They were a single, unified entity. Each player understood their role within the system and executed it with near-perfect precision. This unity, this almost telepathic understanding between players, was the essence of Porto's strength under Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was also a master in psychological warfare. A crucial element of his success was the siege mentality he instilled within the club. Mourinho's psychological alchemy turned the perceived disadvantages and external doubts into a unifying and driving force for his team. Mourinho effectively created an environment where the players felt it was them against the world. This wasn't just a team, but a brotherhood, a band of warriors ready to defy the odds. Every criticism and doubt from the outside world were fueling the fire of determination and resilience within the squad. This approach fostered a profound sense of unity and togetherness, and this became the bedrock of their journey to success. In games, this mentality was evident. Porto played with a chip on their shoulder, a relentless drive that seemed to surge from the collective belief that they could overcome any obstacle. Mourinho's players were not just playing for themselves, they were playing for each other, their coach, and the respect they felt they deserved. The siege mentality went beyond mere motivation. It was a transformation of mindset, where every player bought into Mourinho's vision and fought with a level of intensity and passion that was palpable. The underdog spirit, so deeply ingrained in the team's psyche, became their greatest weapon, propelling them to triumph against more fancied opponents. Porto's ascent to Champions League glory under Jose Mourinho was a series of strategically executed victories against some of Europe's footballing giants. Their triumphs against teams like Man United, Lyon and Deportivo La Coruña were not mere flukes, but the result of meticulous planning and execution. Against Manchester United, particularly in the dramatic match at Old Trafford, Porto's performance was a tactical masterclass. The defining moment was Castina's last-minute equaliser, which secured their advancement and demonstrated Porto's ability to compete against top-tier teams. This victory indicated Mourinho's capacity to devise winning strategies against formidable opponents. The Champions League final against Monaco was the ultimate test of Porto's mettle. Here, Porto showcased their tactical discipline and mental fortitude, culminating in a 3-0 victory. Goals from Carlos Alberto, Deco and Dmitry Alenichev were the fruits of a well-orchestrated game plan. The final directly reflected the team's growth and Mourinho's strategic prowess. The win clearly displayed Porto's ability to execute Mourinho's game plans to perfection. These victories were significant in establishing FC Porto as a force in European football and demonstrating the effectiveness of Mourinho's approach to the game. Each win against these top teams was a step forward in cementing Porto's reputation as a team capable of overcoming the odds and succeeding on the biggest stage. Jose Mourinho's time at FC Porto was a transformative era that went beyond mere titles and trophies. His revolutionary approach to management and tactical innovation reshaped the landscape of European football. Mourinho had a unique ability to forge a winning mentality from a group of relatively unknown players, turning them into a cohesive, formidable team. This success was not just about victories and accolades. It set a new standard for what could be achieved with strategic thinking and psychological insight in football. Mourinho's achievements at Porto served as a launchpad for his illustrious career. His time at the club is remembered for the silverware and his lasting impact on the team's approach to the game. Please give this video a like and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button for more amazing videos.